guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I have quite the story that was sent in from a subscriber. This is from a guy, he's in his late 20s, he is now a bachelor, and he shares his story how 3 months ago, he up and dumped his fiancée, a gal he'd been with for 14 years since middle school, after, wait for it, she was cheating on him at her bachelorette party with a male dancer. And our guy here, like that, boom, got rid of her. And wait till you see in his story the circumstances behind the whole thing, how it played out, who encouraged it, all that. And our guy handled things like a boss, even though he was torn apart inside. And let's just say things are not going too well for her. And oh yeah, by the way, wait till you see how she actually, in advance, when he was talking about a bachelor party for him and his buddies, which they went skiing, she forbade him from going to a club and female dancers and all that, and yet this is what she does. And I want to go over here, guys, again, reinforcing the dangers of these bachelorette parties, girls' weekends, girls' nights. It doesn't mean they're all going to act like that, let me make this clear, but a heck of a lot do. And I have had so many guys write in that are either currently are bouncers, bartenders, limo drivers, male dancers, or bartenders, bouncers, limo drivers, dancers that confirmed all this. What happens? And also, guys, it's so important to understand how if your girlfriend is easily swayed by her friends, that is a dangerous thing, because a lot of women out there, the social circle is much more important to them than us guys. And if they're easily swayed by their friend group, and their friend group are a bunch of, I don't have to say it, be aware of that. That could be a major problem for you. So he says here, Dear SSM, I'm a new viewer to the channel. One of my bros introduced me to it last week, and I've been binge watching your videos ever since. I just wish I had found your channel much sooner. Maybe I wouldn't have made the mistakes I made in my previous relationship, and maybe I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in right now. Well, man, I think even if you found it months ago, regardless, your ex is who she is, and that wouldn't have changed that. But maybe you would have saw other things sooner and got rid of her. I don't know. But regardless, what happened, and I do welcome you to the channel. All the bros welcome you, and you're going to be okay. I was supposed to get married this January. That did not happen because my now ex-fiancée cheated during her bachelorette parties. Talk about a cliche. Well, brother, you are not alone. There's countless other dudes just like you, but at least you're free and you didn't marry her. And you are well better off than she is right now. After discovering your channel, it seems like that kind of thing is pretty common nowadays. I want to share my experience in the hope that somebody out there might learn from it and avoid going through what I've been through. Well, you can call me Mike and my ex-fiancée Emily. I'm from West Virginia, and I met Emily back in junior high. We were friends at first. She was actually the one who asked me out. She was the quiet girl in class and had a very sweet and innocent personality. I developed a crush on her because of that, and we started dating. Man, junior high sweethearts. Holy crap. So, yeah, if you're in your late 20s, that's when you're probably 13, 14, 15, half your life with her. And I'm sure probably she was your first and only at that point. We were each other's first and everything. That middle school relationship lasted 14 years. That is very typical of a small town. We graduated from the same high school together, went to different colleges, but we graduated and found our first real jobs around that time. After we settled into our careers, we decided to move in together. Okay. Now I noticed you said you went to separate colleges, meaning you did long-distance relationships. And given what happens at the bachelorette party, and given how you're going to describe her friends, if you've been watching my videos, I mean, what's done is done, but it is possible that she wasn't so sweet and innocent in college. I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, what's done is done. For context here, I work in tech and she is in accounting. My parents liked her a lot, and her parents liked me. Over the years, they treated me like a second son. Even after more than a decade together, we rarely argued, and our bedroom life was still very active. Everything was going great, and I generally thought that I had hit the jackpot in life. So many others just like you, man, thought the same thing. That sucks. But you know what, man? You're still doing well. You're in your late 20s. Your prime is really about to begin while her prime is going down if she's in the same age as You. Well, last June, I decided to propose. We both turned 28 this year. Okay, so you are 28. And I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with this woman. Never in a million years would I have imagined that Emily cheating on me. A week before our wedding. Emily and her friends planned her bachelorette party. I had mine a couple days later. Or excuse me, a couple days earlier. I took the day off, and my bros and I went on a skiing trip in Canaan Valley. And when we were discussing plans, strip clubs actually came up. Emily's the one who brought it up. She explicitly said that the strip clubs or anything remotely close to that were absolutely off limits. Holy crap, she has some nerve. Even though, obviously, she and her cronies, her coven, were planning the whole thing. And notice, yeah, it came up in conversation with his bros. Probably they wanted to do it. But ultimately, they went skiing. We were just supposed to hang out with our friends and have fun. I had no problem with that because I was never planning to go to one anyway. In hindsight, she only wanted that rule to apply to me. There you go. Rules for thee, but not for me. That takes her being a big giant a-hole to a whole new level. On the day of her bachelorette party, she came home early from work, got dressed up, and we kissed goodbye. Before leaving, she told me that if she got too drunk, she might stay away at her friend's place that night. I told her not to worry about it and have fun. As she was leaving, Emily suddenly turned around and gave me a very tight hug. Oh, how interesting. And notice already she's making it clear, well, if I get too drunk, I'll be staying over at Jessica's house. Now, is it likely she's going to drink a lot? Yeah. But still already setting the stage for her cover. Well, when I asked her what was wrong, she said it was nothing and that she just couldn't wait to be my wife. No, she can't wait to get down and dirty with Chad and Tyrone tonight. She was probably already feeling guilty about what she was about to do, but she still chose to go through it anyway. I don't think she was feeling guilty. I guess hooking up with a random stranger that night mattered more to her than a 14-year relationship. Drama. They seek it out. After she left, I went back to finishing some work in my backlog. While I was working, I got a call from a friend. When I answered, he said he was at a male strip club and he thought he might have seen Emily leaving with some guy, but he wasn't sure. Hold on. Why is one of your bros at a male strip club? Or outside of it? Is he a bartender? Is he a bouncer? Is he a dancer? Immediately when I first read this, I'm like, wait a second here. Well, he's going to clarify. My friend's gay, by the way. That is the reason he was there. Okay, so does that mean all gay guys go to the male strip clubs on Saturday nights? Obviously not, but okay, lucky timing. Some people are immediately going to say, this is bullshit. Fake story. No, it could happen. At first, I was convinced he had mistaken somebody else for her. I was wearing rose-colored glasses and believed Emily would never step foot in a strip club, much less leave with another guy. Yeah, especially after she forbade you from doing the same thing. My friend told me to wait a minute and hung up. So obviously he was just making sure. A few seconds later, he sent me a photo. In the picture, a guy had his arm around Emily's waist while they were walking out together. You could see their side profiles, but I knew it was her. I'd recognize that face anywhere. Well, even with her for 14 years, yeah. And she's probably wearing the same outfit. So obviously one of the dancers after he got off work, and off they go. So that sucks, man. I'm sorry. Well, more importantly, she was wearing the exact same outfit that I had seen her leave earlier that evening. For a moment, my mind went blank. I generally could not process what was happening. My friend kept calling back, but I just sat there staring at the photo. First came denial, and I kept telling myself that it could not be her. Then I told myself there must be an explanation for this. That's the panic going on inside of you. I mean, again, this guy, obviously, up to this point, was in love with her. Loved her enough to propose to her and spend the rest of his life with her. Half his life, this guy's been with her, guys. I cannot stress that enough. How, a lot of his identity is built around this woman. And like that. And there's all the questions. How long has this been going on? Has it always been this way? Feeling like a fool? Well, I called Emily. And it went straight to voicemail. Well, big surprise there. When I couldn't reach her, I called one of her friends who was supposed to be with her that night. She answered, and I asked where Emily was. She told me Emily had too much to drink and went to bed early. So here's the thing. That friend is actually somewhat telling the truth. She did have a lot to drink, and she did go to bed early, just not mentioning who she's going to bed with. I wanted to ask about the photo, but whatever little rationale I had left kicked in, and I stopped myself. I ended the call without saying anything else. She was covering for Emily, and every single one of her friends will do the same thing. Well, that's how these covens work. That's what they're going to do. The only way one wouldn't cover for her is if one actually had a freaking conscience and soul, or one of them secretly had the hots for this guy and wanted to turn her friend in. And I guarantee you they're all a bunch of fucking cheaters. After the denial came the rage. At that moment, if Emily had been standing in front of me, I honestly think I'd be in prison right now. Well, it's a good thing she wasn't. Eventually, the sadness hit. A 14-year relationship died that night, and there was no coming back from that. I could never forgive her. Well, you certainly can't forget. I hope in time you can forgive so you're not full of anger and hatred, but then again, that anger and hatred will help you get through the hard times. Forget? Hell no. While I was going through all this, my older brother called me. When I stopped answering my friends' calls, he contacted my brother to check on me. My brother lives about an hour away with his family. After I explained everything, he was absolutely livid. He had always treated Emily like one of his sisters. Even he never imagined that she would do something like this. He said he was coming over. Well, thank God for brothers. I'm glad your friends obviously realize, he's not answering the phone. He could do something really stupid here or get themselves in the hospital. I'm glad they called your brother. After we hung up the phone, I called my friend back to reassure him that I was okay. I also asked him not to talk about what he saw today with anybody else until I figured things out. Then I tried calling Emily one more time, and just like before, it went to voicemail. Emily had a terrible habit of reusing the same password for everything. I knew what it was, so I tried logging into her Facebook account. Fortunately for me, she didn't have a two-factor authenticate. I can't say the fucking word. You know what I mean. Enabled, and I got in. Emily and her friends had a group chat. I didn't even have to scroll much before I found out them talking about everything. My worst fears were confirmed. Emily was indeed cheating on me at that very moment. There were no photos or videos, but they were openly discussing it. Thank God that she's a dumbass with her passwords. That's pretty surprising for an accountant. But there you go. You struck gold. Unfortunately, it wasn't the gold you wanted. All the evidence right there. They're all planning the whole thing. And again, the fucking bitch, and I'm going to say that because that's what she is, had the freaking nerve to tell you, don't you dare go to a strip club on your bachelor party. And you probably didn't even want to. There's probably some of your buddies wanting to see some naked chicks. After I called Emily's friend earlier, she immediately informed everybody in the group chat. As I kept scrolling, I realized they weren't just covering for her. They had actively pushed her to cheat on me. Emily is a grown woman and fully responsible for her own actions, but these home-wrecking SLUTSs were undeniable accomplices in destroying my relationship. I'm glad you said that. Yes, Emily is in her late 20s. She's a grown-ass woman. She is solely responsible for her actions, regardless if her friends are pushing her into it. But then again, this just reinforces my point about pay attention to who your girl's friends are. And if your girl is susceptible to peer pressure, that's a disaster. If a bunch of her friends are a bunch of cheaters and harpies and hoes and all that. But at least you got the evidence right there. During their girls' trips, so girls' trips are common with these harpies, they would try to make Emily hook up with somebody else. To her credit, she never did it that night. What gave her the courage to finally do it, I will never know. I wouldn't call it courage, dude. Apparently, they had been planning this whole thing for weeks. Fed me a fake story, go to a stupid strip club, find somebody to hook up with, and at first Emily wasn't on board, but eventually she agreed. That's all fine and dandy that in the public chat she was protesting them trying to get her to hook up with other dudes on girls' trips and all that. But regardless, she's done it. And you know what? These jackasses like her ultimately would blame the alcohol, they blame their friends, they blame the peer pressure, all that stupid crap, and obviously blame the guy. But who cares? What's going to happen to her is going to happen to her. Maybe their constant peer pressure finally got to her, telling her she was missing out and that I would never find out, and that would only be a one-time thing, and asking if she didn't want to know what having SCX with somebody else felt like. But in the end, none of that really mattered. She was the one who made the decision. Absolutely. At the end of the day, all these homewreckers, who are obviously a bunch of cheaters themselves, they want to make sure that no one can ever rat them out, so they have some dirt on your girl, you know? And that says a lot about her being with this group of girls who are obviously pressuring her. If she was a decent person, she would have cut ties with them the second they started pressuring her, because that's not what good friends do. Yet she stayed with them, which tells me she's a fucking, she's just like the rest of the sheep out there, okay? And again, social groups and being included and friend groups and all that are vastly more important to women than they are to men overall. And they can't function without it. But a good woman, you and your family will be all that really matter to her. And she can make new friends. There was only so much I could endure. After reading through the messages for a while, I closed my laptop. Before doing that, though, I made sure to screenshot all the important parts. Good, man. You need the evidence for the court of public opinion, and you're going to get that. While I was reading, my brother arrived. We talked for a while, and I hate to admit, but I completely broke down in front of him. Dude, there's no shame. Half your life is with this girl. You're about to get married in a couple weeks, and she's doing this? That's okay. Just don't let her see you cry. Well, after I got it all out of my system, he asked me what I wanted to do. I told him I was ending the relationship. He just nodded and said, good. My brother told me to try and get some sleep and handle everything else in the morning. I was exhausted, but I couldn't sleep a wink that night. Dude, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't sleep that night. I don't think anybody would sleep that night. Emily came home around 7 o'clock in the morning. The walk of shame. I was making coffee in the kitchen when she walked in. But when I saw her, all the anger, sadness, and disgust from the night before came rushing back. Oddly enough, despite everything I was feeling, I was surprisingly calm. Well, probably also because you had that up-all-night zombie state going on. She walked over to kiss me, but I pushed her away. Yeah, get your dick breath away from me, honey. After seeing the disgust in my face, Emily asked, what's wrong? I asked her how her night was. She said, it was fun. Apparently they got a bit carried away while drinking and she passed out. Her phone died because she forgot to charge it. She asked me if I was upset because she didn't text me all night. No, that's not the reason why I'm upset, Sugar Muffin. I looked at her and asked, how was the stripper's dick? I wish you were recording that. Her face went pale. She then asked me what was I talking about. I knew my anger would take over if I kept talking to her, so I went to the bedroom and grabbed the bag I'd packed the night before with some essentials. I'd already decided I was going to cancel the lease in the apartment. Both our names are on it, so kicking her out would be complicated. Besides, I didn't want to stay there anymore. That place had too many memories, and I no longer wanted. Well, you may have to pay for a few months, depending on how long you're on the lease and all, but it's worth it to get out of there. Well, Emily followed me, and when she saw my bag, she started to panic. She asked what was going on and tried to grab my hand. Bitch, what do you mean what is going on? Deny, deny, deny. And then the inevitable cry, cry, cry. Running high on emotions, I did something that could have gotten me into trouble. I shoved her away and yelled, don't fucking touch me. She fell to the floor and stared back at me in shock. In our entire relationship, that was probably the first time I'd ever raised my voice at her. I grabbed my bag and walked out, ignoring her. Well, man, nobody can blame you for reacting the way you did, but laying even a pinky on her is all she would need. And we all know this, to call the police, and then, you gotta keep calm. I got no problem yelling at her. My brother had probably woken up because of all the commotion and was already standing in the living room. I asked if I could crash at his place for a while. He grabbed his things from the guest room and we headed to the door. Well, Emily blocked our way. Even at that point, she was still pretending and asking things like, what's going on? Why are you leaving? My brother, probably sensing how close I was to snapping, stepped in and said, cut the act, Emily. You know exactly what you did. Dude, thank God your brother's there. He kept you out of prison. That's when Emily realized I knew everything, and the waterworks started immediately. Shocker. Hobag Handbook Chapter 2. Again, deny, 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 then cry, cry, cry. She started repeating every single cliche excuse cheaters use, and here's what she said. It's not what you think. It meant nothing. It was a mistake. I'm so sorry. I love you. I'll never do it again. You know, it's like Star Trek with the fucking Borg. They all have the hive mind and communicate with each other and say the same stupid shit every time. Seriously. I just want to know why. Why would she do this to me? Why throw away a relationship that lasted half our lives to hook up with a stripper? But all I got was the same stupid excuses repeated over and over again. You're never going to get a straight answer. Probably in her psychotic mind, she doesn't know the answer to that either. Well, seeing how emotional I was getting, my brother put a hand on my shoulder and said, let's go. As we walked out, Emily completely lost it. She chased us, screaming my name and begging me not to leave. It was drawing attention from the neighbors. Apparently humiliating me by effing another guy wasn't enough for her. We haven't heard anything about her blaming her friends yet or blaming the alcohol. I'm sure that would be coming up. We ignored her breakdown and left. Once we got in the car, I called her parents. At first, they didn't believe me. They thought I was joking or had somehow misunderstood the situation. Like you would fucking joke about that. Eventually, they realized I was serious, and her mother started to tear up. I told them how much I appreciated them for treating me like family all these years, but I was calling off the wedding. Oh boy, Mom's really going to lose it now. Her mom asked if I would consider forgiving Emily and reconciling. Get the fuck out of here. Typical mom response. Not all mothers of the bride respond like this, but a lot do. I told her I would not. Her dad then told me that I was a good man and I didn't deserve this. He said that they did not raise their daughter to behave like this, and he apologized on his daughter's behalf. Thank God he's keeping calm and rational. I assured him it wasn't their fault. There's only so much parents can do. All right, she's in her late 20s. I told them to take care and ended the phone call. I can't tell you how hard that was. Yeah, because this was a second family of yours. Totally understandable. Well, right after that, my phone started blowing up with calls and messages from, guess who? Emily. I blocked her. Then her friends started calling me too. I blocked every single one of them. I never wanted to speak to any of those people again. Darn right. Of course they're friends, and they're probably guilt-tripping you and all that. By the way, while I'm thinking about it, if you didn't do it already, please tell me that you at least reached out to the boyfriends and husbands of all these girls that she's friends with, at least letting them know that their girlfriends and wives were participating in this whole thing, knew what was going on, encouraging it, so they themselves can do some investigating with their own lives. Seriously, you owe it to them. After arriving at my brother's place, I called my parents and explained everything to them. They were heartbroken too because they had always viewed Emily like one of their daughters. After my sister-in-law made some great breakfast, I started handling all the logistics one by one. I canceled the wedding venue, the catering services, and every single other thing. I lost about $5,000, but that was still far cheaper than divorce. Dude, $5,000 is a drop in the bucket compared to what you would have paid for the whole thing. But here's a question. Why the fuck isn't it traditional, if I'm not mistaken, for the bride's family to handle all that shit? I mean, usually the groom's family might handle, I think, the honeymoon or the rehearsal dinner or something like that, but maybe, I know you do well, so you wanted to take care of things. I don't know. But regardless, drop in the bucket compared to the divorce. I also talked to my landlord, then came informing relatives about the wedding was canceled. I had no reason to protect Emily's reputation, so I told people the wedding was being called off because of her infidelity. Good. I'm glad he controlled the narrative. I'm sure that had to be humiliating, but why protect her? Well, it's been over 3 months since then, and honestly, I could write an entire book about everything that happened afterwards. Dude, don't leave us hanging. If you got more stories to tell about what happened afterwards, send it in. Emily is still trying to get back together with me to this day. Shocker. She's almost 29 years old. She was banking on having you. She's almost 30. We know what happens when 30 hits. I don't care how good looking she is. The market value and on the looks and department, that means you can't have a hot 32-year-old, but still, it's not the same. She even attempted to end her life just so I would see her. Shit. I just hope she stops causing me any more headaches than she already has. In my opinion, guys, this is my opinion, if somebody truly indeed wants to end their life, they'll do it. Otherwise, it's either A, a cry for help, or B, manipulation tactics. Her was manipulation to get you to go run to the hospital and it's okay. Fuck that. After this experience, I just feel hollow. I'm not interested in dating anymore. Brother, who can blame you? I had a couple of hookups since then, but it feels strange in a way I can't really explain. Not good or bad, just strange. I guess spending your entire life only knowing SCX in one woman does that to you. Yeah, man, absolutely. Even now, I still wonder why she did what she did. I make very good money for my age. I'm 6'5", 220. I love to hit the gym. I'm a gym bro, and I could have given her a life most people dream of. Why throw all that away for a one-nighter with a stripper? Dude, get in line. There's plenty of guys out there that ask the same thing, and we'll continue asking the same thing because it will keep happening. I would never know, and at this point, I don't think I care enough to actually find out anymore. Even if this story isn't good enough to make it to video, I still wanted to share it with you, SSM. Keep making the content for clueless guys like me. Stay safe, Mike. Well, man, Mike, welcome to the community. We are here for you. And you sharing your story, I guarantee will help somebody else out there. A lot of people don't want to think, not my girl. My girl will never do that. And I would hope that. Really, I do. But people need to hear these stories. And again, I've been doing this for 6+ years. I think 4,000 videos now between all three of my channels. Started this in 2020. And how many stories I've gotten from guys just like you in this situation, or from bartenders, bouncers, limo drivers, male dancers, whether they're still doing it or they did in the past, all confirming the same thing. So many girls pull stunts in these varying degrees on the bachelorette parties, the girls' trips, the girls' weekends, girls' nights, you name it. Over and over and over again. So you really need to pay attention. And even if you found this channel beforehand and you knew this type of crap happened, still it wouldn't change the fact that it probably would have happened somewhere else. You can't watch her 24/7 and police her activities like the jail warden or the prison warden. That's no way to live. Some guys think that's okay. I think that's stupid, but that's just a reality, in my opinion. And it would have happened eventually. So it really reinforces about that. And it also reinforces about the whole friend thing. I say pay attention to who your girl hangs out with. If there are a bunch of girls like this, and maybe up until this point you had no idea they were like this. They put on a really good show, which is certainly possible. But regardless, right there, she caved to their pressure. Okay, and I don't care if it was the only time she ever did it, and that's nice that she rejected it. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that all along they've been pressuring her on girls' trips and girls' weekends and all that. Nope, she wouldn't cheat. And finally, this one time she did. Doesn't matter. This is who she is. And frankly, I wouldn't want somebody that's so susceptible to peer pressure. A good woman, at the first time that any of her friends should try to get her to cheat, whether because they think she was missing out on something, or more because they want to have power over her, or they want to ruin something good she probably had, that's a possibility, she would have cut them off. Because what would truly matter is you. A guy that would never do that to her, that would be there for her. Now she's just like the rest of them. I'd like to know how many of those girls are actually married or in serious relationships or all single and maybe just trying to screw things up for her, But who knows? That's the past. But what I want to talk about is your present and future. You said it's been a few months, so you had time to heal. You had some hookups. Not surprised. I'm sure that felt meaningless and didn't do anything for you. But I'm glad to hear you're a gym goer, and I want you to continue going to the gym in your regular amount, focusing on your career. You said you do quite well for yourself. That's great. Keep on moving ahead. Your prime is about to begin. A man's prime really begins in his 30s, so you're just getting started. And nobody can blame you for not wanting to date anymore, let alone having a relationship. I'm sure maybe you wanted to have a family one day, but now that's out the door. But you are now all the wiser. And I want you to take that wisdom forward and pass it on to other people out there you might encounter and all that. But even though I'm sure you probably still have many anger and hateful feelings towards her, I don't want that to ruin you. You can take what you're experienced to become wiser and to protect yourself and those you care about, but don't let her turn you into some angry as fuck, miserable person, because then she wins. And I think at this point, you don't even care about winning. You just want to move on with your life and be happy. And so Take it one day at a time. That's the best I can say. The gym, your career, your purpose, hanging out with people that care, and that's that. And if she's still fucking reaching out to you after 3 months and pretending to offer herself and all that, there may be the point that a phone call to her parents might be due and say, listen, I just want to make it aware. I don't want to talk to your daughter, but this bothering me will not stop. And if this doesn't stop immediately, I'm going to hire an attorney and I'm going to get a restraining order, and it ain't going to be pretty. That's what you can say to them in a respectful manner because they were good to you. Because you don't want to talk to her. Because talking to her is going to be talking of pure emotion. It's not going to work. And if she continues, then you take whatever legal action you can against her. And that's that. But bro, it sucks, but you handled it like a boss. You handled it like a guy's watching my material. So man, I appreciate you sending your story. You're going to be okay one day at a time. And oh yeah, by the way, if you want to share other stories about things that have been going on since, her crazy antics and all that, send it in. I'm sure a lot of the guys like to hear about. Guys, if you want to hear more, let the guy know in the comment section. And let me know, man, 6 months, a year down the road, let me know how you're doing. I'd like to hear you're doing okay. And so I do appreciate you sending in the story. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Give this guy a shout out. He could definitely use the support. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.